What's up, people? Welcome back. Linux Sucks 2014, the video. The title says it all. Goodbye, I'm leaving. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Just a joke. You may have heard of Brian Lunduke. He used to be on the Linux Action Show for quite a few years, I do believe. You know, when he was on the show, that was an excellent program, and actually it still is. I shouldn't say that. The Linux Action Show, if you've seen it, one of the premier informative shows on everything in the open source world and everything that is Linux, among other things. It still is a terrific show. You know, keep in mind for those of us who provide you with content. I don't think you guys realize just how much time and money is involved to create the kind of quality content that you guys are used to. So please support your shows. What I was trying to say before, when Brian left the show, to me, the show is not quite the same. It's still a quality show, but Brian has always had his unique views on things, and Linux Sucks is no exception to his insightful information on the world of Linux. Now, Linux Sucks 2014, this is new one, just came out about a week or so ago. This is the Linux Sucks Cope. I just paused the video. I'm not going to play the whole thing, but this is the second or the third one that he's done. Very informative, very good. And the reason why I like these, well, number one, you don't have to be a geek to understand what he's trying to say. If you are a newbie, I'm sure you can get the gist of what he's trying to say. And number two, I would have to completely agree with almost everything that he has said about why Linux sucks and why Linux is so great. So when you watch this, please play the entire video. Don't just say, yeah, Linux sucks, you're right, toss it, I'm leaving. That's wrong, because as many things that is wrong with Linux, you know, there's just as many good things that's good with Linux, and that's what I use now. I use Ubuntu more than I use Windows 7, so how about that? But life is a juggling act, I suppose, between the good and the bad. But I'm just going to show you, or not show you, but just state some of the highlights of what he said and give you my thoughts. He did say that, let's see, forking is dumb. Totally agree. I've cracked jokes in the past, if you've listened to the News and Nonsense reports or some of the podcasts, that, you know, sometimes if all you do is forking, then things become all forked up. This is a family show, so you figure it out. But he says forking is dumb. Instead of trying to fix existing projects, why fork them? Because fixing existing or contributing to existing projects is easier. I totally agree. Let's see, he talked about display servers, Mir versus Wayland. I guess he had a beef with Canonical and Mir, but as a dual booter between Windows and Linux, which is the best one? The best one is the one that freaking works. I mean, I'm not trying to be funny, but the best display driver, the best display server, whatever it's called, the best one is the one that works, plain and simple. He talked about these names that developers give the operating systems and I guess pieces of software. I guess he didn't like Trusty Tar. The next Ubuntu, by the way, it's not out. You can download daily images. It's called Utopic Unicorn. He had a problem with those, but he really liked way back Fedora's Beefy Miracle with the image of the hot dog. I don't think that was appropriate for children, but that's just me. As far as the name things go, some of the names are kind of strange, but as far as Trusty Tar and stuff and Utopic Unicorn, I don't have a problem with that. Unpaid developers contribute to what he calls into a vat of software. What could possibly go wrong? And you wind up with code that is I guess a pile of crap. Again, that may go back into the whole forking thing where, you know, you have something that works or kind of works, and then you branch off or fork off out of that and try to make something else and try to, instead of trying to fix the existing almost stable piece of code or software. I think that's what he's trying to say. I'm not sure. And finally, he gave a quick shout out to Elementary OS, which has come out of nowhere the last couple years to shoot up in popularity. Those are just some of the highlights of the Linux Sucks 2014 video. I will have a link below in the show notes. Definitely take a look at it. Very informative, and please, you have to look at the whole video, because in the beginning he goes to what's wrong with Linux, and then towards the end he goes what's good with Linux, and he basically says in spite of all this, you know, in spite of all this mess, it's amazing that Linux, at least some of the high-end Linux operating systems, the more popular ones, you know, Linux Mint, Ubuntu, it's amazing that in spite of all that's wrong, what's wrong with Linux, it still works and somewhat stable. I totally agree. So Brian, good job. Totally enjoy watching your stuff. The Linux Sucks 2014, an excellent, informative representation, or at least your opinion on the world of Linux, what's good and what's bad. I would have to totally agree on most of what you have to say. Keep up the good work. Keep them coming. That's it for this one. Thank you so much for watching and listening. As always, don't forget to subscribe and please support the channel if you can. I'll catch all of you sometime in your Linux future.